Welcome to a deep dive. Today, we're really digging into the business and market scene in India, specifically for June 17th, 2025.
That's right. We've got market reports, news briefs.
Exactly. And our job really is to pull out the key stuff for you. What does today's data actually tell us?
Hmm.
We'll look at, market moves, some corporate news that caught our eye, a pretty interesting government scheme, and of course, the global picture.
How it all connects.
Right. So let's unpack this, starting with the market numbers. Both the Nifty 50 and the Sensex opened lower today.
Yeah, and the specifics are quite telling, actually. The Sensex, it was down around 220 points at the open, hitting 81,575.
Okay.
And the Nifty fell about 78 points, down to 24,868 initially.
So a bit of a shaky start, but then there was a bit of a recovery, wasn't there?
There was, yeah. The reports show Nifty climbing back up a bit to 24,933.
And the Sensex.
Sensex recovered to 81,143, so that initial dip and then the climb.
It does suggest some, volatility right at the start. Investors may be testing the waters.
Exactly. And if you connect that to the broader sentiment mentioned in the reports, it really points to caution. Investors are watching global events closely.
Keeping their powder dry, maybe?
Sort of, yeah. A wait-and-see approach, perhaps.
Okay, but even with that caution, some specific stocks were highlighted. Apollo Hospitals and Persistent, they were mentioned as buys.
Right. And there was also some buzz, some trading interest around names like HCL Tech and MCX.
And the top gainers today, BEL, HDFC Life, SBI Life, were up there.
So it looks like continued interest in, well, healthcare and IT, seen as maybe more stable bets, plus these specific winners for the day.
Yeah, seems like pockets of confidence remain. Okay, let's shift gears a bit. Corporate news, big one from Meta.
Ah, yes, the leadership change.
They've appointed Arun Srinivas as their new managing director for India.
That's quite significant, isn't it? It raises the question of, what impact this has.
On their strategy in India.
Exactly. India is a huge market, incredibly important for Meta. A new MD suggests maybe a new push or perhaps a change in direction to really tackle the specifics of the Indian market.
Interesting. And something quite different on a local level, Bihar.
Oh, yeah. What's happening there?
The state government has launched this new scheme. It's offering pretty substantial subsidies for cash crops, turmeric and cloves specifically.
Ah, okay. The reports mentioned grants, right, up to, what was it, 1.4 lakh?
That's the figure, yeah. 1.4 lakh.
Wow. That's a direct example of how, government policy at the state level can really try and shape the agricultural business.
And farmer livelihoods directly, trying to push towards higher value crops, it seems.
Precisely. It's a targeted economic boost for that specific sector in Bihar. Could have knock-on effects, too.
Definitely one to watch. Okay, and finally, the global stage. Its influence is always there.
Always.
The reports touched on the Israel-Iran tension, mentioned as a factor in fallen oil prices.
Yeah, seems counterintuitive sometimes, but tensions can disrupt demand forecasts, too. And oil prices feed into everything.
Right, and the U.S. Federal Reserve meeting, the effects are still being felt.
Absolutely. The Fed's decisions, or even just signals about interest rates, ripple outwards. They impact capital flows, investor appetite for risk.
Which lands right back here in the Indian market.
Directly. It just shows how interconnected it all is. Geopolitics, central bank decisions elsewhere, they have real tangible effects on daily trading here.
So putting it all together then, what's the picture for today, June 17th?
Well, it seems like a market that's cautious, definitely influenced by global factors.
But still finding opportunities, right? We saw that in health and IT stocks.
Yes. And then you have these other layers, big corporate strategy moves, like Meta appointing a new MD for India.
And very specific local initiatives like that Bihar agriculture scheme.
Exactly. It's this mix, isn't it? Global pressures, corporate strategies, local policies, they all kind of converge to create the day's market environment.
It shows you just how many different things are shaping the business landscape every single day.
It really does.
Okay, so here's something really interesting for you to think about. We've talked about Meta getting a new leader, likely to fine-tune their strategy for India. And we talked about Bihar boosting specific cash crops.
Two very different pieces of news.
Right. But how might they actually influence each other, even indirectly? Could Meta's push, maybe into new digital services or platforms, eventually connect with a more prosperous rural segment benefiting from schemes like Bihar's?
That's a fascinating thought. Like, could a stronger local agricultural economy down the line create new user bases or new kinds of digital needs that a company like Meta might then try to meet?
Or could Meta's data or reach somehow play a role, maybe unforeseen now, in how information about such schemes spreads? Or how those agricultural products find markets, those less obvious connections?
Yeah, how the tech giant strategy might intersect with changes happening right down at the grassroots economic level. Definitely something to mull over.
It's exactly food for thought. That wraps up our deep dive for today.